Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have a great show for you tonight. Mac and Dub are standing by in the wings here with their whole band. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Man, it was sounding good in your warm-up. Thank you. Nikki Gates is our guest. Mr. Casper Leach is standing by here, ready to be the joint host, and because he's had a lot of joints. And we've got some interesting hemp news. There's been a lot of developments in the world of cannabis all around the world today, so stay tuned as we bring on our infamous dancing cannabis leaves.
I feel the force.
Our first hemp news story tonight comes from Princeton, New Jersey. A record 58% of Americans nationwide now believe that marijuana ought to be made legal for adult consumption, according to survey data released this week by Gallup. American support for legalizing cannabis rose 10% since Gallup previously posed the question last year. Only 39% of Americans now say that they oppose legalizing cannabis. The pollsters attribute the rapid rise in support for legalization to changing attitudes among self-identified independent voters. In 2012, 50% of independents endorsed legalization compared to 62% this year. Support among Democrats is at 65% and Republican voters at 35%, and that was little change from 2012 to 2013. Respondents in every age category except for those over the age of 65 expressed majority support for legalization. According to Gallup, they reported, quote, American support for legalization accelerated as the new millennium began. It's likely that this momentum will further spur legalization efforts across the United States, end quote. The Gallup poll randomly sampled 1,028 adults age 18 and older and possesses a margin of error of plus or minus 4 percentage points. In recent months, polls in numerous states, including Louisiana, Maryland, and Texas, have shown majority support for regulating cannabis for adult consumers. And to demonstrate that, just a couple days ago in San Francisco, California, another poll found nearly 2/3 of likely California voters would support a statewide ballot measure to legalize and regulate marijuana production and retail sales. According to a survey conducted by the Tulchin Research Company and commissioned by the state affiliate of the American Civil Liberties Union, 65% of California respondents said they would support a ballot proposal, quote, to legalize, regulate, and tax marijuana in California for adults, end quote. Only 32% of those surveyed said they would oppose such a measure. Our next story tonight is from South America. Uruguay's government will sell legal marijuana for $1 per gram, according to the country's drug czar, Julio Calzada. And he's given higher estimates in the past, however. I had the great pleasure of being on a panel with Julio Calzada, the Uruguay drug czar, when I spoke in Spain last month. A law already approved by Uruguay's lower house of Congress and expected to pass in the Senate would make it the first South American nation, is the first nation in the world to tax and regulate the legal production, distribution, and sale of cannabis, according to the Associated Press. Of course, here in the United States, one state, Colorado, and another, Washington, have legalized marijuana now too, but not the whole nation. So Uruguay would become the first nation state to do so. Julio Calzada said marijuana sales should start in the second half of 2014, the price of $1 per gram, in the El Paz newspaper last Sunday. Calzada said, quote, making money isn't the idea, but rather the government wants to take the market away from illegal dealers, end quote. He had estimated in August that government-sold cannabis would cost about $2.50 per gram. Unfortunately, Uruguay says it won't allow cannabis tourism. The sales are restricted to locals only. With Uruguay about to become the first nation on earth to fully, formally legalize cannabis since the United Nations Single Convention Treaty on Narcotics in 1961, marijuana cultivators there are eagerly preparing for the day when they can openly grow the herb. Uruguay President Jose Pepe Mujica, 78, a former leftist guerrilla, backs the legalization plan, and his party holds a comfortable majority in the Uruguay Senate. So passage of the law looks almost certain. Julio Calzada said the objective is to dismantle the black market, which supplies the nation's 25,000 marijuana users with inexpensive cannabis smuggled in from Paraguay. From Washington, D.C., the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved 2 clinical trials to assess the efficacy of cannabidiol, or CBD, a non-psychoactive plant cannabinoid in the treatment of intractable pediatric epilepsy. The 2 approved trials will take place at New York Medical School and the University of California at San Francisco, according to an online report in the journal O'Shaughnessy's. The cannabidiol formulations in the trials will be provided by British biotechnology firm GW Pharmaceuticals, which produces organic cannabinoid extract medicines, including Sativex. Cannabidiol has been documented to possess a variety of therapeutic properties in preclinical models, including anti-epileptic activity. Clinical trials have shown the oral administration of CBD to be safe and well tolerated. And in recent months, several national broadcasts have highlighted the use of CBD-rich oils to treat seizures associated with a pediatric form of intractable epilepsy known as Dravet syndrome. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta had a special called Weeds focusing on that. Our next story is from Alexandria, Virginia. The National Association of Specialty Pharmacy, or NASP, has announced its intent to establish a task force to better educate pharmacists to the management of cannabis therapy. According to a press release from the NASP, medical marijuana has come to the forefront of patient care in many of the diseases that specialty pharmacists treat, including multiple sclerosis, cancer, HIV, and others. More education for physicians, pharmacists, and patients is needed to ensure individuals receive the correct product with the correct efficacy and drug delivery system to fit their disease. As an organization, NASP believes that it has the responsibility, intellectual advisors, and obligation to take the lead on this emerging area of medical care. According to the NASP website, founded in 2012, it represents specialty pharmacy professionals in all practice settings and highlights a unique value its members bring to patients and the healthcare system. For more information, you can go to nasprx.org. 3 months after the District of Columbia's medical marijuana program became operational, dispensaries in our nation's capital say they're losing money. According to David Gard, the general manager at the D.C. dispensary Capital City Care, quote, all medical marijuana businesses are operating at a loss, end quote. This is according to a story in the Washington Times by Andrea Noble. The District of Columbia's medical marijuana regulations are among the strictest in the nation, and that's part of the problem for this dispensary. The D.C. program is under close scrutiny because of its proximity to federal lawmakers and agencies. Dr. Fisha Wuda, a senior deputy director of the Department of Health and Human Services, said, we're not far from the Attorney General's office and other offices, and we want to make sure we are running an airtight program. The continuity of the program is much more important for us. We want to make sure the program is sustainable and has a future, end quote. Of course, for that to happen, the dispensaries can't continue operating at a loss. According to Dr. Wuda, he said, quote, we were prepared to see 200 to 300 patients showing up in our office, and that did not happen. So far, all we've been doing is bleeding cash, said Bob Simmons of Alternative Solutions, one of D.C.'s 6 approved medical marijuana cultivation centers. So far, only 59 patients have been added to the Washington, D.C. Registry of Legal Buyers in the 3 months the program's been operational. Since the program launched, only 62 physicians of the approximately 1,400 accredited by the district have picked up the medical marijuana recommendation forms, and only 39 of those have actually filled them out. Low participation is said to be at least partly due to doctors' fear of breaking federal law. Perhaps many of the doctors are unaware of the Conant versus Walters decision, which protects physicians. Advocates for a more robust medical marijuana program urge the D.C. Council to relax the city's strict medical standards. They ask that the district's program be expanded, since current regulations allow medical marijuana to be authorized only to patients with cancer, glaucoma, HIV, and are conditions that cause severe muscle spasms. So our next story tonight's out of Florida. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is challenging a proposal to put a ballot measure which would legalize medical marijuana before Florida voters in November 2014. Bondi said on Thursday she sent a petition to the Florida Supreme Court along with the campaign's ballot language and petitions. Florida Attorney General Bondi claims that People United for Medical Marijuana, or PUFM, led by Orlando Attorney John Morgan, filed the misleading ballot language in describing how widely medical marijuana would be allowed. So she's trying to stop that, but it's very popular in Florida, and if it makes the ballot, it'll do it. So that's the end of the Hemp News segment tonight. We're going to jump over, and standing by in the wings is Big Mac and Dub. How are you folks tonight?
Hey, we're doing good.
I want to just show you've got a new DVD out. It's Potlandia,
Yes,
Mac
sir.
and Dub's Potlandia. So you have some songs off that tonight?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing them. Thank you.
Thank you very
It's good to
much.
have you back.
Yes, sir. Good to be here. Play something
All right.
again?
Go right ahead.
All right. This is off the new
Break it
Potlandia
out.
CD. It's available right now. MacandDub.com. Tonight we're joined by our band, the Smoking Section. So let's give it to them. Let's hit them with the title track. Yeah. Y'all feel free to blaze something up out there, Portland. We'd like to welcome y'all to the greenest state on the planet.
Meet me at the cafe. Hey, hey. I'ma be there all day with Madeline and the whole gang.
Yeah.
Used to call it Portland, now we call it Podland.
What they be doing, Doug?
Y'all be planting roses, we be planting Podman. The Mary Jane.
Who know about that?
Oh, Mary Jane.
Smoking Section. Break it down right here, y'all.
That Mary Jane, 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 Mary Jane, yes. Mary Jane.
We need that Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Every single day. Takes my pain away.
Jane. Need it every day. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Potlandia. Welcome. Welcome. Potlandia. Welcome to Potlandia. Welcome to Potlandia.
Welcome to Potlandia, yep, that's what we are. We be on that chronic like my band be on that guitar. Mary Jane, yeah, she's a friend of mine. She be with me all the time. Wintertime through summertime, man. That girl so good, I can smell good, blazing so good. Welcome, loved ones. Glad that all of y'all can make it back in W to a God. Enjoy your vacations. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome to Potlandia. Welcome, welcome to Potlandia. Welcome to
to welcome y'all to Mac and Dub's new CD, Potlandia. Some for everybody that like to smoke some. Some for all the OMMP patients. Give it to them, smoking section. Hit them up something, Wiz. Take them to church, my brother. Fight for your right to smoke. Mac and Dub, smoking section. Wiz, Charles, LP, Mac and Dub.
Right.
Thank you.
That was great.
Smoke big, live good for having us.
You guys did very well.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
So you guys will be back in about 40, 45 minutes and close up the show with another tune.
Would love to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And our viewers out there, look for Mac and Dub's Potlandia DVD. And that's macanddub.com. Yeah, macanddub.com. Well, we've got Nikki Gates. Welcome to the show, Nikki.
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing?
Very well, very well.
Happy Friday.
And Casper Leach is here, being the joint host. He's been holding duty for some time. So you've been working with
Very hard.
the Alternative Wellness Center, presenting.
I've been working with everybody. But I'm
I know
out
you've kind
right
of
now.
you've worked with a lot of them. I know I've gone to events
I
that you've
love
helped
it.
organize at a lot of
Multnomah
different
Wellness.
Multnomah Wellness. Many different
I do
places.
stuff for you. I do stuff for Alternative. I do stuff. I just
Yeah,
do a
you
lot
and
of
your
stuff.
husband Mike have been essential in a lot of our hip stock festivities as well.
Thank you. We've enjoyed it.
I know you've got something here. Let's see if we can get
Yes,
a close-up
that's
on it.
this
This is a
Sunday, you guys.
little event. So you're doing this pretty
Every
frequently,
Sunday.
right?
It is the first, what I call the first OMMP weekly market. And it puts farmers and patients directly together where they can talk and communicate with no door fee. And I love that about it. And I thank Alternative Wellness for that. That's a real special thing that they're allowing all these people to come together every Sunday and have the best Sunday party. So if you want to come out and see what everybody's got, I've got about 15 tables this week. And so if you don't like one, there's always another one to look at. And that's what makes markets so wonderful.
That's been a neat kind of a model. I think it really started very quickly. When I heard about the first one starting down in Riverside, California,
Yes.
then next thing I know, within a couple of months, they were all up and down the
Yes.
West Coast.
And this will be my fourth one. And so they were kind enough to name this after me, and
right.
I'm grateful for that. We're going to ride it till the wheels fall off and make sure all and every patient, every caregiver, every farmer out there has the knowledge and the know-how and treats everybody the same so they get treated the same.
I know we have two initiatives that we're currently circulating, and
Absolutely.
you've been helping with those as well. Here's
We've got a couple parties
little
planned.
brochures. Say that again.
We have a couple parties planned for those.
Oh,
we
great.
have one party on November 14th at Cadigan's Bar on the corner of 72nd and Herald. And we'll have a lot of great music, some silent auction tables. Speaking of some silent auction tables, I personally want to donate to this campaign for one of the silent auction prizes.
And you've got a little jug
have
of
a-
change you've been raising there. So there's a couple little
I
handouts we have.
So if
Like
you
to get a hold
see any
still.
of these jars out, There's several out at different clubs, Flower to the People, Potlandia, Multnomah Wellness, Alternative Wellness, Cadigan's Bar. If you see these jars, folks, put your money in them. It's safe. It's going where it's supposed to go. And that's why I brought it as an example, because I wanted everyone to know.
Well, let me just say that we have 2 initiatives out there. Initiative 21 would amend Oregon's Constitution with 2 simple sentences that says that people can possess, use, and grow cannabis and its derivatives, and the government can regulate it for public safety. And then there's another one. It's a revision of last year's Oregon Measure 80, which would regulate the stores and set them up and license farmers to grow it, let people grow their own without a license, and give patients untaxed cannabis at cost. So those 2 initiatives are currently in circulation. We're up to about 18,000 signatures on each now. The constitutional amendment needs 116,000 signatures by next July to qualify for a vote, though we hope to qualify by the holiday season this year. And then the revision of Measure 80, Initiative 22, only needs 87,000 valid registered Oregon voters. And we currently have about 18,000 each on those 2 petitions. In addition to that, we also have people going around raising money in the community. We've raised about $60,000 from 2,300 donors so far. If someone knocks on your door from our organization, CRRH, or the Campaign for the Restoration and Regulation of Hemp, our political committee, then please show them some love, and you can help our campaign at that point, or go to our website there at crrh.org, or to our office at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. If you can't donate cash, you can, if you're a registered voter, you can sign the petition, maybe get a few friends to sign, and that is currently in circulation. In addition to raising money from 2,300 Oregonians, where, like I said, we've raised about $60,000. In addition to that, we've also had Foundation for Constitutional Protection, and Michael Kleinman have donated $62,000 so far, and pledged $500,000 in total to help us put this on the ballot and win the election. So we've got deeper support than we had last time around, I'm happy to say.
That's wonderful. I actually got this from, I had Cliff Maynard come to one of the markets.
Right, and
They're
Cliff
so
Maynard's
much
been
fun.
creating this
Roach
paper,
art.
roach art, which is,
Used
he takes roaches,
Yes.
and he
creates
takes the
things
colors
like
from the
this.
resin on the paper and puts together like a montage.
And this I'm actually donating to the silent auction myself. This is Jack Hare, number 44 of 420. So this will be at Cadigan's on November 14th in the silent auction, if anyone's interested. And I am very, very pleased to have a wonderful friend like Cliff Maynard.
Well, thank
he's
you,
such
Cliff,
a support.
for making a donation to our campaign.
I
know
want
those
to present this to you on behalf of Cliff. Cliff is very shy. If anyone knows him, he's a shy guy. And he's a wonderful man and got a wonderful character. And there's no one that does what he does and can do it so well. So he wanted to make...
I don't know anyone else who's made
No.
these kind of roach arts. I know, like, if some of his things are just amazing. I
Amazing.
mean, the art that he produces
is one of
really
them that's
amazing.
absolutely
As that portrait of Jack
spectacular.
Hare really
This
shows.
he wanted to present to you
Oh, wow.
to see if you could possibly see if Willie would like this or he'd like to
I will-
donate this
I will
to.
definitely
This
try
is
to
number
pass that
one
on to
of
Willie.
420. This is the original Willie Nelson.
I see.
So he would like him to decide what he'd like to do with his own face.
Okay.
And I think a lot
So
of
that's a
artists
print.
should
It's
do
not
that.
the actual
No, this is the
roach.
actual roach.
That's the actual roach
Yes, this
art.
is the original.
Wow.
So, and you have, I think, a real low number, your darn self for the garden.
Yeah.
That got donated from Cliff. And I think it was like number 2 or 3 or 4. It's low. And I thought that was real nice of him. And,
Yeah,
but after
that is.
420, he does all reposts. So it's all
I see.
reproductions. So this is pretty fantastic.
So what he does is he takes these roaches and he
Yeah.
makes 420 originals of each design.
Of each design, and then it goes into a reproduction where you don't get, Well, that Casper, thank you, sweetie.
That is pretty darn neat.
Fantastic.
It
And it's
is.
fantastic that he would want him to decide
Yeah.
what to do with his own face. And I think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, the original.
That is.
A lot of artists don't do that. And here you get, every time up to 420, you get one of these authenticity certificates.
I
if
see.
it does not have one of these, then
Then
it's all
it's not the-
reproductions.
the real
correct.
thing.
Yes. And
All
this
right.
comes with this, and this says this is #1 and all
Well,
that.
that is
So
fantastic.
that's a gift that you and Willie
Well,
can decide what you want to do with it.
I will ask the next time I get together
So,
with him.
and
I
I
see
think
him
that's just
about 4 or
wonderful
5
for him to
times a
do
year.
that.
So
Yeah, I know you do.
I'll be
This was the
sure to
perfect
do
spot
that.
to bring it, and the perfect person.
He's always
to give
on the
it to.
road, you know. He's incredible. He's got tons of energy.
That is one of his
Yeah.
favorite and one of his best-known songs. On
Yeah,
the road again.
that's true. He it's true about him.
Yes, he is.
He enjoys it. He loves that bus.
So that is just, yeah.
He's got a
pretty
number of nice
spectacular.
houses around there. Well, thank you. And
You're
thank
very
you,
welcome.
Cliff Maynard and Chronic Art. If you people want to find out more about Cliff Maynard and Chronic Art and this roach art, you can go to roachpaperart.com. That's roachpaperart.com. He has some very incredible roach paper creations.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Cliff. That's great.
It's fantastic.
We are taking your phone calls tonight. If you want to call and ask us a question about ending adult marijuana prohibition, storing industrial hemp, or helping medical marijuana patients, then call that number on your screen. It's 503-288-4442, and hopefully a very patient caller has been standing by. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi. I just wanted to first thank you guys for everything that you're doing like that. But my
Very well.
question is, I didn't quite catch where that market was going to be on Sunday.
It is at 5241 Southeast 72nd. Of course, that's only for medical marijuana permit holders. It's the
Right,
Alternative Wellness Center at 5241 Southeast 72nd.
2 blocks
Right.
south of Foster.
2 blocks south of Foster. We'll try to get camera 2 to close in on that, and I bet they'll do it. And this is the weekly event. It's Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
We would love to see you.
All right.
Please say hi.
Okay, will do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for your
Bye-bye.
call. If you have a question or comment for us, you can come down to our show as well and ask your question live on the air. We're here live almost every Friday night. But if you want to call in, call that number on your screen. It's 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. I know, Casper, you have been just a bundle of activity with Andrea Herman running your hemp show and Michael Biafre broadcasting from South America and other people broadcasting in Europe. And so you've got this little network. You've been doing your radio show now for about 4 or 5 years.
Since 2007, when Gateway Galbraith
6
pushed me
years.
into doing the podcasting, and then I went to
Before that, you did the Time for Hemp television show
Yeah.
back in the early 90s with
Yeah.
our mentor and friend Jack Hare, the late great Jack Hare, which that
Yes.
picture was of Jack Hare. We'll pull it out here again in a minute. But tell us a little bit more about your endeavor.
Well, it's been really fun because when I sit and run the board op, I get to hear the message of ending prohibition being passed around the world in French, and I get to hear it in Spanish, and we're going to be hearing it in German and various other languages, and that just tickles me to be used as a tool to help bring forth that type of activity. And so I'm pretty excited about that. We got a lot of people who are tuning in from around the world. Our stats are going up, and our website's getting a lot of hits, and our network is growing. We had Steve Bloom on today from doing Celeb Stoner, and you're right, we got Andre Herman who comes on and talks about the industrial hemp, and we got Al Graham from Canada, who's been very diligently working with Treating Yourself magazine, now doing his own broadcast. Carl Olson's doing his own show on Sunday mornings.
He's from Iowa.
Michael Krawitz is joining us. We're going to be rebroadcasting the Cannabis Common Sense programming every weekend as well. And so, yeah, it is growing around the world. It's rather surprising.
Debbie Goldsberry's doing a show.
Starting
I think
next
that-
Friday. She'll be
Okay.
on every Fridays. And we got Tara Joyce doing the midnight to 2 a.m. Every Monday through Friday. She's winner of Last Comic
And
Standing.
so if somebody wants to see this or listen to it, they can watch their
They
the
can go to
computer or the radio?
timeforhemp.com or the Time for Hemp Broadcasting Network. We're also on iHeartRadio and Tumblr and SoundCloud and iTunes. And it's really amazing, again, how we are growing around the world. So I like using that expression, growing. We are a growing network. And as a growing network, we do ask people to tune us in and share us with your friends.
All right, timeforhemp.com. We have another caller standing by. Welcome to the show, caller.
How you doing?
Very well. How are you tonight?
Not bad, Paul. Good to hear from you. Good to see you. Good to see Nikki there.
Nice to have her here.
What are you
This is
doing?
your first appearance on the show.
No,
I can't-
fourth.
Fourth?
Danny and I came on with
feel
Danny
bad.
Banco and you too.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm
Couple
sorry.
times
I'm sorry.
with you
It's
characters.
short-term memory loss. That's going to be my...
Smoke more cannabis.
But, yeah, I guess so.
Just wanted to let you know that we appreciate everything you guys are doing down there.
You're very welcome.
And,
Thank you.
We'll keep you all the good things coming and appreciate it.
Thank
Hope to
you.
see you someday, Nikki.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you later.
Thank you for the call.
All right.
Paul,
Thanks
did
for
you
calling.
say in the news that they're not making any money at the medical marijuana dispensaries
Well,
in
they've only got
Washington,
59
D.C.?
patients that they've approved.
I think
You
the
know?
problem is, number one, they're in Washington, D.C., so they must have Congress running their dispensaries.
They've got to grow it there in Washington, D.C., too. Rent can't be cheap
I know, but
there.
I know 3 people still going through puberty who are making $100,000 a month off of selling herb,
Well, that's
you know?
that's not
And
the
you
same
can't do it in
thing.
Washington,
It's a lot more. Well,
DC?
you know, this is a very tightly regulated business there, and so
I
they've
know,
got to
but
be.
my
They
grandma
can
with
only.
an ounce and a pack of rolling papers can make $200 by herself down at the nursing home. Hello, you can't make money at a dispensary in Washington, D.C.?
Well, that's what they said. You know, we have
Jeez.
another story in our news was about how Gallup now says 58% of Americans nationwide are in favor of marijuana legalization. We have a little film clip from Trendline that we're going to run right now, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We've seen a significant change over the years in Americans' attitude towards the legalization of marijuana. And this isn't just an academic issue now. We've had at least a couple of states, Colorado and Washington, who've legalized recreational use of pot. And recently, a high official, so to speak, in the state of California has suggested that that state should legalize recreational use of marijuana. So it looks like it's something that gradually is coming to be across these United States, and the majority of Americans would say that's a good idea. Look at the trend line here. It's very fascinating. We first asked this question way back in the hippie era, 1969, when there was a lot of pot smoking going on, and only 12% of Americans at that point thought that it should be legal. Now, over the years, that percent has gone up. It kind of leveled off and then stayed at about right under the 50% level or so. Now, this year, 58%. Almost 6 in 10 American adults say that yes, they think that marijuana should be legalized. And this isn't for medicinal uses, mind you. This is legalization of marijuana in general. There are political differences. Republicans are opposed, as you see. Democrats in favor. And this year, for the first time, we found independents jumping up to be very similar to Democrats in terms of majority approval for legalizing marijuana. Age differences? Well, as you would suspect, young people most likely to say yes to legalizing marijuana, but it's not as low as you might think even among older Americans. 45% of seniors, 65 plus nowadays, say yes, they too think that marijuana should be legalized. That's an update for you. For the first time in our Gallup tracking history, a clear majority of Americans say they think marijuana should be legalized. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.
All right. Well, things are moving in our direction. You know, I became an activist kind of when things started going the wrong way, when Ronald Reagan was president. I actually first went to a protest at the White House for marijuana legalization back a week after my 18th birthday, back in 1978. And there I met...
1878?
1978. Did I say 18?
Okay.
19. How old do you think I am? Are you saying that? Anyway, yeah, it was back in 1978. It was quite a while.
Sticking to it.
Okay. Well, anyway, and we saw a long winter of discontent as Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign took hold, and what looked like marijuana would definitely be legal in the 70s, suddenly draconian penalties were implemented, and these new forfeiture laws were implemented, and new mandatory minimums where the federal government giving people 5 years for growing 100 plants in federal prison as a mandatory minimum. So it's good to finally see that trend line changing after all these years. Don't you folks agree?
Absolutely. I feel like we've been a collective group responsible for it. I mean, maybe I shouldn't do a little, but when I see that America's mood is changing coast to coast, I feel like the work you've done and I've done and Jack Hare and all the people in this room have done by standing on corners and screaming, paper, fiber, fuel, it's nonsense to arrest, the amount of money has finally paid off, and we have finally been heard, and the reasoning is beginning to settle into the brains of those who need to have that sort of. So I kind of feel slightly responsible, because it takes all of us to raise our voice to make it happen. But it's nice to know that I have been part of that voice in the wind.
I had a 70-year-old baby boomer tell me this last week that their whole mindset has changed towards cannabis. And I couldn't believe it. 70 years old, always been very conservative, come from a very conservative Republican family, very straightforward, never drank, smoked, or anything.
Well, finally the truth is getting out there.
Yes,
and it's
it
about
really
time.
is, and it is time. And it was so fantastic to hear the changes people are making.
Okay, we have another caller coming on. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hi. I'm kind of curious. It's Wolfie. I'm curious about you and Casper's take on what's going to happen with the gray market dispensaries up in Washington in the wake of 502, and how that's going to interact with people's ability to grow their own under medical marijuana, because 502, of course, was,
There's a lot of proposals that have been made up in Washington State to curtail the dispensaries and to make patients buy marijuana through the dispensaries. But, you know, right now they're just debating what they're going to do. Obviously, law enforcement has fallen behind that. Representative Chris Hurst, a law enforcement officer who is a representative in the Olympia legislature, there, the Washington State House of Representatives, has said that he voted no on 502, but now he was going to try to use this new law to close down the dispensaries. And he said that 90% of all medical marijuana patients are not really sick. And I can tell you, as a person who's helped a large percentage of the patients in Washington State, that they are truly in need of medical marijuana, and they need quite a bit, many of them need quite a bit of it, and they can't be paying exorbitant, highly taxed rates. That's why here in Oregon, our initiative does not tax medical marijuana. In fact, it even says that medical marijuana will be sold to patients at cost through pharmacies or through other stores. So our initiative was set up to encourage the cheap and inexpensive availability of medical marijuana to patients, and a lightly taxed marijuana market for adults. And so I urge you to support our initiatives, but I definitely don't approve of those proposals in Washington that the Washington Liquor Control Board take over the production. In fact, up in Washington, the people voted a couple of years ago that you didn't have to buy liquor from these state liquor stores anymore, like we have contracted liquor stores here in Oregon. So now these businesses have nothing to do, and they're looking forward to this marijuana revenue, but they don't need to throw patients under the bus to do it. No, and so that's just wrong.
And I think that if the legislative body up in Washington got together and had a big joint meeting, they might have a new viewpoint.
Yeah.
And it's this liquor control board that's making these proposals, and that has to go through a political process. They haven't been approved yet, but you know, we're urging them to allow patients cheap availability of medicine. This stuff really grows on trees. It could be for patients $5 or $10 an ounce.
Now, I'm from here, but I call myself a Northwest kid. My question to you, Paul, and maybe you can answer this, and I'm not sure if you do know the right answer. Is there such a thing as Washington being able to back up and create some type of umbrella like we have here in Oregon for themselves?
Well, yeah, they could. You know, the Washington legislature passed a bill to regulate the dispensaries. And then the governor, it was Christine Gregoire last year, she went in and line item vetoed it. She didn't run for re-election. So she didn't allow that to go into effect. Her argument was that Washington employees in the state would be putting their approval and employees working on something that was illegal under federal law. So that was obviously completely without basis in reality, because now the federal government says they're going to allow the recreational sale of marijuana in Washington and Colorado. So the drama continues.
Thank you.
It looks like we'll see an initiative in California, Alaska, Oregon.
I love our umbrella. I love DHS.
Yeah, it's a pretty good program.
I know people complain
These new dispensary
sometimes,
laws are the
about
best
sending the
dispensary laws in the country. They're much better than the regulatory laws that they have in Colorado by far. And they don't tax the medicine for patients, which is the way it should be. And I don't see why the Washingtonians think that sick and dying patients should be taxed. That's just wrong. We have another film clip that we're going to run right now. It's a video. Oregon is actually the epicenter of the glass industry now. The largest glass manufacturers, and a lot of these people are really true artists, are producing pipes and water pipes, and we're hoping they're going to come in and start working on the legalization effort as well, because obviously legalization has caused a big boom in this industry in Washington and Colorado. So this is a trailer about a documentary out there called Degenerative Art, the art and culture of glass pipes. We'll be back in just a moment.
Talking about. That was mad work. I worked for over a week and a half on that shit.
Tattoo art, graffiti art, pipe art, it's expression, you know, in general. It's like subcultures all tied together by a certain group of people that are bored with what everyday life has to offer.
That feeling of competition without consequence helped us develop new styles at just incredible speeds, like just constantly one-upping each other.
I've been accused of creating a form of Americana art and being its founder. This is a 1979 Volkswagen. This is going to be a mobile studio. I'm taking this guy on tour.
Hey Slinger, how long do you think it's going to be before, you know, none of this is anything we have to worry about getting filmed?
In my heyday, I'd say I had about 50 glass blowers and probably 7 warehouses total, yeah. And then poof, the DEA came and dragged me out of bed at 6 in the morning, took me off to jail.
We can assure worried parents that today there are 11 .coms that are .gone.
They were arresting artists based on the laws that the future owner was going to break, and so it was this kind of crazy concept.
My congressman wrote a letter to the judge saying, it's all right that he makes glass pipes. You know? So who do you ask, you know? How do you find out that you're a criminal?
I have had a police officer that was in here say to me, it's not paraphernalia unless it's been used.
$420 Hemp Fest special, check it out.
So nothing in here is illegal, it hasn't been used.
Are pipes legal? Are pipes legal? No.
It's an underground movement that is thriving and growing and expanding, and that makes me really proud to be a part of it. I'm not surprised that a pipe's not in a gallery, but I'm definitely going to be thrilled when one does get there.
If you put it in the context of art, then it is art. Sometimes it's a controversial subject, but it is as legitimate as art as anything else in the world.
However, certain movements like grow, you know, there's certain constrictions and rules that'll define them. And the fact that it's underground, it's moving outside the barriers, boxes, or structures. So the pipe making subculture has been able to expand in sort of a limitless realm of possibility.
All right. So that is a film clip about Oregon being the center of the glass industry. It's become a huge industry. They just been holding this big glass convention, CHAMPS. I don't actually know what that's a acronym for, but it's called CHAMPS. A huge event in Las Vegas for the past several years, and they're just wrapping it up today in Denver, Colorado. So they've had their first one outside of Las Vegas in Denver, now that it's legal there. And so Oregon is the epicenter of the glass industry. The biggest players live here in Portland and Eugene.
And I get a chance to see them come through sometimes.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
there are a lot
it's
of real
really nice. There's some
glass
really
artists
good
here.
ones out there. Yeah,
that's true.
Very talented.
Well, we might be able to squeeze in another phone call in the next little bit. If you have a question or comment, call us at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. You know, one of the things we have are these nifty bumper stickers for our constitutional amendment to end adult marijuana prohibition. It's Help End Marijuana Prohibition in Oregon. That's Help End Marijuana Prohibition in Oregon. If you'd like one of these bumper stickers, you can give us a call at that number or come into our office on Sandy. Or when you see our petitioners and canvassers out there in the streets, you can ask about picking them up. We also have some t-shirts and magnets and some other swag. So if you want to get involved and get our petitions to end adult marijuana prohibition, then give us a call there at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. Come into our office there on Sandy Boulevard. Go to our website. But get involved, because it's time to end adult marijuana prohibition. And it's time to stop putting people in jail for marijuana, where they, unless they're selling it to kids, then I don't think that they should be going to jail. And so I'm sure you guys agree.
No one should go to jail.
Yeah, I agree.
Not
So
over
we have a
this
couple other cannabis items here. Here is Eli Lilly bottle, a cannabis extract. Eli Lilly had dozens of cannabis medicines. You can see this a little closer. There it is. Eli Lilly, a fluid extract of cannabis. Then much smaller bottle off here to the side.
No, that's a big bottle.
Yeah, that's
compared
a big
to
bottle.
the one next
Well,
to
this
it.
one's still got some of these pills. These are cannabis pills from 1910, and here's some gelatin-coated tablets, cannabis tablets from 1915. Right next to it, we have a little thing of oil. Every week, we burn our cannabis flame of freedom, showing how cannabis can be used as an energy source. This is hemp oil with a hemp wick. This is hemp fiber. This is the wick that we put into that oil and make our own little cannabis oil lamp every week right here to demonstrate why marijuana is made illegal, which is to prohibit us from using it for fuel and powering our cars and making plastic and rayon instead of nylon and other things like that. I know you had a question about hemp oil production. You were talking about just a moment ago.
His name is Dwayne from Alternative Wellness, and he wants to know if you know the price per gallon on hemp fuel and the availability of it.
Right now, hemp fuel is not really available. You know, they're growing this dwarf hemp variety up in Canada that only produces about 500 to 600 pounds of seeds per acre. Feral hemp, wild hemp here in the United States produces about 8,000 pounds of seed per acre, or 15 to 20 times more. So when we can grow feral hemp, the cost of hemp oil should come down to about 70 cents a gallon. Currently, the most productive seed oil crops are canola, soybean, and safflower. So sunflower seeds. So canola or safflower oil, soybean oil, and those are each produce about 100 gallons per acre. Feral hemp produces about 300 gallons an acre. And so our current oil crops, the soybean, safflower, and sunflower seeds, those cost about $2 a gallon. So if hemp oil is 3 times more productive, we can expect to see hemp fuel for about 70 cents a gallon.
Wow,
So,
isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, that would be a much better
Wow.
alternative for sure.
That's wonderful.
So that's an answer to that question.
That's
I'm
a
really
fantastic
surprised.
answer and question.
I'm really surprised. My friend Dave Farrell's got his own seed strain. That's cool.
All right. Well, we hope to make more seed strains and start being able to do that here in Oregon now that the laws are finally changing. The legislature's
you have
done
some
those.
great strains yourself that you've had.
Oh, Dave
very
Farrell,
good
Farrell
luck
hemp?
with.
The Farrell
Oh.
hemp?
All has. He's a lemon pledge.
Well, I have some nice varieties that
Yes.
our patients are looking forward to receiving. You know, I am also the associate producer of a movie called The Green Goddess.
Yes.
And The Green Goddess is out there. We finished the production, and we have a little video clip we're going to roll right now, and I hope you like it. Here it is.
The following trailer contains real marijuana.
Legend has it that deep within the THC crystal of the marijuana plant, there lives a goddess. A goddess so incredible that meeting her will transform your life forever.
She's magnificent, glorious, beautiful, delicious.
I want to meet her.
You start with a strain like this, nurture her, worship her. When your mind is open, she will come.
When their leader is arrested, 3 friends will travel halfway across the world, plant 25,000 marijuana plants, and harvest more organic ganja than you and all of your friends could smoke in 3 lifetimes. Whoa, that's a lot of pot.
You're from America? Yep. So you think you can just come over to Europe, grow some weed, and make a whole bunch of money? Doesn't work like that.
All I know is, after how some of y'all treated the son, the Lord felt the need to hide his daughter. And he hid her in the most sacred of sacred places.
They have only one chance to get it right and to meet one goddess. Would you like to meet the Green Goddess?
Remember in there?
All right, so that is the movie. I've got a minor part in it, associate producer. It shows the good aspects of cannabis culture along with some of the funny aspects as well. It's an adventure comedy. Produced first part starting back about 2001 in Switzerland, and then finished up here in the United States. It has over 420 special effects sequences, which I have been told means has more special effects than any other independent movie ever produced out there. So you could tell some of that from the trailer.
Spectacular.
That's my special effect.
So you wanted to mention an event coming up, Nikki?
Yeah, I want to re-mention the legalization fundraisers, the one at Cadigan's on November 14th.
Where's Cadigan's at?
It's on 72nd and Herald. It's actually 2 blocks down from Alternative Wellness. And it's going to be from 7 to 11. Silent auction tables, and like you saw,
There
the
are
Jack Hare.
so many of these dispensaries opening up and down that Foster Avenue corridor. I see new ones
I
out
see
there
them
all
happening
the time.
all the time. Isn't it amazing
It
what
is.
happens?
It is.
Productivity. I think that you know, the 1,000 feet's a great idea. The 1,000 feet from the school, 1,000 feet from each other. we definitely don't want to get so consumed that we're on top of each other.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough room for everybody.
Okay. I'll leave that
Especially
alone.
in all the neighborhoods.
All right.
So Casper, you want to give our audience another
Real quick, yes, because I want to hear these guys rock out. But here's the deal. We are the voice of the marijuana movement by accident because the marijuana movement has come to us. You've covered the camera light. That's why I can't tell the camera's on. But here's the deal. Go to timeforhemp.com to enjoy the Time for Hemp Broadcasting Network. You will find almost anybody and everybody who wants to talk about marijuana there. Steve Bloom, Tara Joyce, me, Michael Krowitz. Timeforhemp.com, the Time for Hemp Broadcasting Network. Make it happen. Check us out. Share us with your friends. Thank you for the plug.
And last but not least, I want to say one more time, you know, we're at about 18,000 signatures right now. We need 87,000 signatures on Initiative 22, 116,000 on Initiative 21. Those are two marijuana initiatives, one a constitutional amendment, one a statutory measure that complement each other. And so they're both being circulated at the same time. So go to our website, come to our office, come visit our spot there on Northeast Sandy Boulevard and get involved in our effort to end adult marijuana prohibition. We will be back next week with another live show and some more adventures from the world of cannabis. And we're going to go out with another great song from Mac and Dub. You can find Mac and Dub at macandub.com. That's MACKANDDUB.com. macandub.com. And here's their latest, I called it a DVD, but it's actually just a CD. Their latest CD. The DVD's on the way. Okay. Okay, folks.
Help us what?
Tune in next week and help us restore hemp.
Hey, I feel out there, Portland. Let's go. We with the smoking section, Mac and Dub. Yeah, 1, 2. It's time to legalize and decriminalize it. Yeah, we're in the final days of prohibition. Yes, Mac and Dub are musical activists, but we got to give props where props is due, y'all. You know what I mean?
Montel Williams wanna legalize it, and Casper Leach wanna legalize it, yeah, and Nikki Gates wanna legalize it, yeah, and Paul Stanford wanna legalize it, legalize it, legalize it. Yes, so
we gotta fight for our right to smoke. Yes, Potlandia now available. Legalize the weed, man.
Get yourself up, get you a voter booth, mark your ballot, yes, see what your power do. You got power, dude, you got power, chick. Us together, we a cannabis power grid. Fight for cannabis, this is our battle.